Well, hello, good morning.
Hello.
The other day I forgot, it's, it's not such a very important thing, but maybe it's useful for you, because I remember that we were talking about um, commercials, slogans, catchy slogans, etc. TV commercials, yes, and at the same time, it's about that if you are going to write something about a TV commercial, answering the three questions that is the exercise 12. What is a good or unique about, what is good or unique about the product? Why would someone want to buy or use the product? And can you think of a clever name or slogan? This is this exercise here, number 12, okay? But I was thinking that in order to write something, I forgot to give you some, as we can say, useful expressions. Instead of writing, I'm going to show them to you. Some useful expressions, if you want to talk about for which reason a business, how can I say, is successful. I mean, the reason for the success of a shopping, a store, or a restaurant, or doesn't matter, a hotel, the secret of success, it's about that we can use in order for a hotel to be successful, or for a hotel to be successful, right? But we can use these expressions. I'm going to try to show you. It says useful expressions, this part. The first one, second, and third. It's successful because or because of the waiters, the good service. It's successful, talking about, for example, a hotel. It's successful because it is located in a good, because it has a good location, for example, right? The second expression, it's popular, because it's popular, but we can use due to, remember, instead of always because, well, we can use due to. It's popular due to its location, or it's popular due to its music. It's popular due to its prices, good prices, and how to say, affordable prices. Okay, so these are sentences that you can use. The third expression, the reason it's successful is, so the reason, or the reason why the restaurant or the hotel or the disco is successful is, so the reason it, I mean, for example, the supermarket, the reason the supermarket is successful is, so the reason it's successful is, and you can say due to, because of, since, etc., etc. It has good prices, it's never crowded, it is well cleaned nowadays. Maybe you can pay attention to that. If it is the place you're going to go is completely clean and maybe not so crowded, etc., etc. Well, the other expression, it's become popular since it is located in a good neighborhood, right? For example, it's become popular since its pizzas are the best or the most delicious in the city, okay, or in the neighborhood, okay. Well, and the last expression is it's famous for, right? So you can start writing about a company or a business, etc., and you can say, well, it's famous for its good prices, the quality of its products, etc., etc. So these expressions, useful expressions, are these useful, right? So you can use them to write or to talk about different products. Well, this is something that the other day I forgot to tell you. Well, talking about the, let me see, talking about the reading comprehension, yes. I hope that you could read it. It's supposed that the reading, in order to summarize the how can I say, the meaning of this reading comprehension, is that sometimes a product is successful, for example, in South America, and is not successful in Europe. Or another product is completely bought. Many people, everybody buys a product in the United States, but maybe nobody buys the same product in Asia. But there is a reason. According to the reading comprehension, to make a long story short, it's supposed that the name of a product is completely important. Here we are, it's supposed that they talk about a car, right? That was the Chevy Nova, right? But what happened in Latin America, so in countries where people speak Spanish, this car that really existed, yes, this car was not very well sold. So it was very difficult to sell the car. And when we read about this, the Nova, it's supposed that, what's the meaning? That Nova in Spanish means it doesn't go. So if you're going to buy a car and the name of the car is it doesn't go, maybe people connect the idea, yes, unconsciously, as if this car is, I'm gonna leave problems if I buy this car, so I'm not going to buy it. Yes. Well, so the first problem of a product is the name. So when you are going to start a new business, if you are going to invent, if you're going to, you have to put a name to something that you have invented, it's supposed that you have to think a lot about the name. The second is the translation. When we translate, many people, doesn't matter the language, many people translate literally. And we know that it's not possible to translate literally. For example, English, Spanish, Spanish, English. If you translate literally, the meaning many times is completely, how can I say, lost. Yes. So in this case was the talking about a soft drink cola, Pepsi Cola, that was come alive with Pepsi. Okay. But when you translate this slogan, right, it's supposed that, for example, says German people and Chinese people. Germans translated this as come out of the grave cemetery, when a person dies. So come alive with Pepsi, the translation literally for them was come out of the grave. Completely, how can I say, not catchy. And Chinese people translated this idea, people brings your ancestors back from the grave. More or less the same idea. Yes, the idea is if you drink Pepsi, Pepsi brings your ancestors back from the grave. Yeah, so come alive. Yeah, well, was not so, how can I say, it was not something popular, yes, in these countries. Another problem can be, just a picture's worth 1,000 words. What's the meaning? When you buy a product, many times there is a label, there's a picture that you can identify, yes, the product only if you don't understand the language, if it's written in another language, doesn't matter, because you identify the picture and you're going to buy that product because you know the picture, yes? Well, what happens? If you buy some food specifically made for babies, nowadays in Uruguay, you can go to different supermarkets and you can buy, there is a bottle many times made of glass, not plastic. And there is the picture of a baby smiling, right? Round, says the book I'm reading, round-cheeked baby. So a baby full of energy, full of life, because round-cheeked, yes, red maybe sometimes, yes. Well, and it's supposed that into that bottle of jar, you can say, what happened? People in Africa put inside the containers what they show in the label. So if this product want to be sold in Africa, it's not going to be successful, because African people are going to believe that they are going to eat what? Part of a baby. So because the picture shows what really the jar has in it, right? So this campaign talking about food for babies was not successful in Africa, for example, right? And the other is, the last one says twist of fate. The idea is things connected to religion. Maybe different religions, there are 5 people, different religions, okay. You can believe, nobody's going to say your religion is better than my religion, but everybody believes in something that sometimes maybe why that person doesn't do that thing, why that person doesn't eat that product, why that, well, there is the answer is because of his or her religion. That's okay. So what happened? I'm going to try to read the Arabic, right? In Arabian, it's supposed that the product was a pair of shoes, and the idea is that you have to walk over, yes, the word. Let me see. Tom McCann. That was the name of the person who produces and produces these kinds of shoes, right? Tom McCann. But there is a signature. When you write your name using your signature, it's very difficult to identify if it is Roxana Gavello, because, for example, my signature is something that if nobody knows my name, you are not going to read Roxana Gavello. Yes, it's an R, maybe you can see an L, maybe you can see, right? It's completely something that you do completely like unconsciously. You write that down and it's your signature. Well, what happened? The signature that this man used to write anytime he has to write his name, Tom McCann, was similar to the word Allah. So for the Arabic people, it was like, I have to wear a pair of shoes walking on Allah. That is like insulting our God. Yeah, so that's the reason why nobody in Arabia was going to walk on God. This is the idea. So this product was not successful in Arabia. So the reading comprehension shows how the name of a product, sometimes translating the name of the product, sometimes the pictures, maybe how can I say, a designer, how can I say, you have to pay a lot for the designer, the picture designer, to invent or to create a good picture for your product. But at the end, the picture is completely important in order to sell your product. And the idea is your beliefs. Yes, so many things, pay attention, a company has to think about when they want to send a product, not in your own country, or maybe in your own, how can I say, continent, but internationally. Internationally, you have to think about the name, the product, and the picture. the translation of that name in the other languages, you have to keep in mind many things. Yes. Well, this was more or less the idea of the homework that you have to do: true, false, not given. You have to answer the questions. Well, now, some minutes ago, I sent you the beginning. Well, we're going to continue, but the beginning of the next unit we're going to study in August. And I sent you these 2 pages. Yes, these 2 pages, I sent them to you some minutes ago. And first of all, the idea is to pay attention to this word that is pet peeves. So first of all, I want to try to understand what's the meaning of pet peeves, right? We can see the picture of a woman completely angry, completely, how can I say, not happy, disappointed, many negative adjectives we can use. Disappointed, maybe a little angry, maybe confused, we can say too, maybe having a bad day. For which reason? Because of pet peeves. When we read next to these 2 words, pet peeves, says common mysteries among friends and acquaintances. Well, friends, maybe you have friends at the high school, but maybe you only have acquaintances at the high school. Who is a friend? Well, a friend is someone that you like to share. For example, you spend time together playing basketball, I don't know, or doing homework together, maybe visiting one another, going out together, or at least having a good relationship in the classroom. An acquaintance is a person that you maybe you greet in the morning, good morning, bye, but it's like you don't have nothing in common. You don't have anything in common, really. And you know the person. It's a person that you know, but it's not a friend of yours. You know the person. You say, Juan Gomez. Ah, yes, I know. It's one of my neighbors, but it's not a friend of my family. It's an acquaintance. It's someone that everybody in my family knows. Only that. You know the person, but you don't, maybe you never talk to the person. You don't have things in common. You really don't have any idea about the other person's life. This is the idea. But, pet peeves, common mysteries, says here, among friends and acquaintances. Well, and we are going to read some pet peeves. Then I'm going to explain. So all of these here in this chart, all of them are pet peeves. So let's go to try to see if we understand the meaning of this without translating. Says, why is it that she, remember that she's very angry, confused, uncomfortable. Why, he says, why is that? Some people are always late. So she asks this question to herself. Why is it that some people are always late? We can understand, paying attention to her attitude, to her face, that she hates when a person arrives late. She's completely uncomfortable, disappointed, and how can I say, not having a good time when she has to wait for someone. So she would like that everybody would be punctual. So she says, she asks to herself, why is it that some people are always late? So for her, this is a pet peeve. It's something that makes her feel disappointed, uncomfortable, angry. Yes, a pet peeve. We could ask this question to ourselves and try to answer. Why do you think that some people, because you can be late, I don't know, sometimes because if you have to take the bus and the bus didn't stop and you had to wait for the next one and you arrived late. Well, but this maybe can happen to you 3 times a year. I don't know. Maybe once a month, suppose, but not every day. This is kind of impossible to believe if a person says, I arrived late because the bus didn't stop at the bus stop. You can believe this sometimes, but not always. Or the idea of I overslept. The alarm clock didn't, the alarm didn't go off. So I overslept. Well, maybe you can have this problem. It happens to me, happens to many people. But if you think about how many times you oversleep because the alarm clock didn't go off, you can say 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 times a year. I don't know. So the idea is, why is it that some people are always late? I know because I know, for example, I have been teaching for many years, and I have had students that they were always late, but not 20 minutes late. But the idea of 4 minutes, 3, 5 minutes, always. So you say, well, it's impossible that that person, the idea is can't. It's like that the person can't arrive on time. Well, but this is a pet peeve for many people. When you feel uncomfortable because of something that another person does. The second pet peeve. Why is it that some people never return phone calls or never answer emails? I think that I belong to this group of people. If you ask me, why is it that you maybe no return phone calls? Because when someone calls me, I try to return phone calls, but I don't do that. I don't always do that, but answer emails sometimes maybe it's like I don't answer them immediately. Understand? I need some time. I don't know, maybe some days, and sometimes depending on the topic, depending on if it is something important or very important, or for me not so important, I don't answer the email. So why is it that some people never return phone calls? Why is it that some people never answer emails? I don't know why I do that, but I have to understand that for the person who sent you the email, maybe the person considers, or maybe considers, that you are not paying attention, you are not involved in the situation because you never answer the emails or you never return the phone calls. It's something that makes the other person uncomfortable. So this is a pet peeve. Number 3, why is it that some people don't listen carefully when you talk to them? I suppose that this has happened to you, because this has happened to me, to many, that you are talking about, you're saying something that is important for you, not maybe something completely essential in your life, but something that for you has a meaning. You wanted to listen to the other person's opinion, or at least you want the other person to listen to you. But the person, you know that you are talking, you are saying different things, you are giving your opinion, and the other person doesn't listen carefully because the person is looking at the cell phone, the person is controlling if someone else is coming in, the person is looking at or trying to explain something, or trying to tell something to a child, or I don't know, is doing something that their mind, his or her mind, is not connected, yes, with what you are trying to express or tell. Why they do that? is a reason. The reason we are going to talk about the reason, we're going to try to find the answer to these questions in the unit. No? Why is it that some people act differently in front of people they want to impress? A person who acts differently in front of people they want to impress. Maybe you have seen this attitude in friends or in acquaintances or in someone that when he's talking to you, when he's in your house, when he's with you going out, etc., is a person, but when someone else can be an adult, can be a more popular person, can be, I don't know, maybe a teacher, maybe the director, maybe in front of, the person like changes the attitude and you say, but this is not my friend, or my friend never says these things, or why, or the person maybe becomes serious in a minute, changes, right, the attitude in a minute because they want to impress the other person in a different way. Why is it that some people always look messy? To look messy with double S and Y, to look messy is to look not clean. The idea is not clean, but the idea is not, for example, suppose to say that person didn't comb his or her hair this morning. That person is wearing, I don't know what kind of clothes, because it's like the pieces of clothes, they don't match with each other. Yeah, it's like you say, well, this person needed to be more conscious when the person is getting dressed in the morning. Yes, this person needs to go to the hairdresser and cut his or her hair. This person needs to be a little more, how can I say, to look at the mirror, at himself or herself in the mirror before going out in the morning. Yes, it's like the person doesn't have a mirror, we say. Yes, in his house, in her house, there is no mirror. So why is it that some people always look messy? Because you can look messy, because this is not incorrect, or how can I say, bad. I suppose that everybody at home, maybe running errands or doing something in the garden, or when a person, maybe your mother is cooking, or is a person, so has many things to do, maybe you say, wow, you have to pay attention to yourself, go and comb your hair, do, I don't know, change your clothes. But this happens to everybody, but always it's a problem, right? If this happens always to the same person. Why is it that some people never remember to return things? Never remember to return things. That's the reason why many people don't like to lend things. From my experience, my life connected with books, for example, all my life, giving a book in order for the other person to make a photocopy, to read, to study for an exam, but the book never comes back. Yes, I have lost many books because I have lent them, yes, for a period of time. You can say, well, if you have an exam in 1 month, in 2 months, you're going to return the books. It's like, I don't know why, but I suppose that the same that happens to books happens to other things. That is why many people don't like to share, maybe we can say, or to lend, I don't know, things that belong to him, his or her watch, his or her car, his or her bike, his or her, so, or maybe not so expensive things, you can say other things, but it's like, this is the reason why that some people never remember to return things. The other person feels the same as this woman, frustrated, infuriated. Yes. Why is it that some people are always short of money? When a person is short of money, what's the meaning? The person doesn't have enough money to buy things. Yes. Or when they say, well, if I go to the supermarket, if I pay my bills, but the person is like never has a salary, maybe has a good salary, maybe, or at least a salary every month, has the same salary, but the person is always short. When you say, I'm short of money, I can't do this, I'm short of money. And the reason is not because the person is saving in order to buy something at the end of the year or to repair something in his or her house. The reason is that, I don't know why the person is always short of money. You talk to the person is short of money. You say, always. Well, it's a mystery. Why is it that some people never know when to go home or get off the phone? Go home is someone that comes to your house as a visitor, and the person is there. You offer a cup of tea, then you offer, well, my family is at home, is in the everybody has been working during the day. I have to cook dinner, and the person is there. The person never goes home. It's like doesn't understand that, well, if you go to a house, you can be, depending on the relationship that you have with the family members, but you at the end you have to go home. Yes. Well, and the other is get off the phone. Is when someone calls you, doesn't matter if it is a common telephone or a cell phone, but never get off the phone. So never finishes the phone call. So, and maybe you have to study, you have to say, sorry, I can't talk to you any longer because I have to, I don't know, go to the gym, because someone is knocking at the door, because I have to, I don't know, do the cleaning. Yes, right? And in some hours I have to go to work, or I have to go to the high school. So why is it that some people never know when to go home or get off the phone? Why? Pet peeves. All of them are pet peeves. We can say mysteries. Well, yes, but a pet peeve is something that a person does that there is no explanation why the person does that. Yes. For which reason that person is always late? You don't know. For which reason that person always look messy? I don't know. For which reason that person never listens to me, never listens carefully to me when I'm talking to him or her? So it's a mystery, but that mystery makes you feel bad, and it's something that the other person always does, repeats, okay? Well, this unit that we started today is about this. I would like you for next class, I would like you to read this conversation number 2. And I would like to, next class, for example, you are going to be Jackie and I'm going to be Bill, or you are going to take the role of Bill and I'm going to take the role of Jackie. I'm going to read the conversation, that the conversation has a title, what happens. So maybe you can practice it. Maybe if you find a word that you don't know, you can look it up in a dictionary. Next class, we're going to start reading this. You're going to read, for example, Bill's part, and I'm going to read Jackie's part of the conversation, right? This is something to do for next class. And remember that I would like to read the writing. Try to do the writing. Try to find a company. Try to find a product that you would like to sell, you would like to buy, and try to answer the question, to write something about them. Okay? Yes? We are going to stop for today. Okay?